having finished the last of the packing. "Yeah, we're all ready to go." "Well, I guess this is it," Jack said, a bittersweet feeling washing over him. The apartment, once filled with the echoes of their shared lives, was now empty, ready for new occupants, new stories. "Well, Mr. Furley, goodbye." Terry extended her hand. "It's only too many pineapples," Mr. Furley replied, shaking her hand, a cryptic farewell. Janet approached Mr. Furley, her eyes shining with affection. "Oh, I love you, Mr. Furley." She hugged him tightly. Mr. Furley, genuinely touched, patted her back. "That husband of yours is one lucky guy." "Oh, thank you." Janet smiled. Mr. Furley then turned to Jack, a knowing look in his eye. "Well, what the hell? You're cured. I'm the one that straightened him out, you know." He winked at Jack, taking credit for his newfound commitment. Well, Janet prompted, eager to leave. "Well, I better get home to my husband," Janet said, a soft, happy sigh escaping her. "Oh my goodness, I can't believe how that sounds." "Oh, I know what you mean, Janet," Jack agreed, his gaze falling on Vicky, who stood beside him, her hand intertwined with his. "I can't believe that in a few hours I'm going to be with Vicky." "Well, I have a plane to catch. We better go," Terry said, her voice filled with anticipation for her own new adventure. With final hugs and promises to keep in touch, Janet, Philip, and Terry departed, leaving Jack and Vicky standing alone in the empty apartment. The door clicked shut, sealing off a chapter of their lives. A wave of both excitement and trepidation washed over Jack. This was it, a new beginning, a new apartment, a new life with Vicky. The unknown stretched before them, full of promise, and perhaps new challenges. Chapter 6. The First Night. The bustling streets of Santa Monica, usually a vibrant symphony of urban life, had quieted down to a gentle hum as midnight approached. Jack and Vicky, hand in hand, walked the short distance from the old apartment to their new home above Jack's restaurant, the Regal Beagle. The air was cool, carrying the faint scent of the ocean and the lingering aroma of delicious food from the nearby eateries. "Oh, boy, I thought those last customers would never leave," Jack sighed, pushing open the door to the restaurant, the bell above tinkling merrily. He had spent the evening cleaning up, ensuring everything was perfect for their first night. Vicky smiled, her eyes twinkling. "Well, Vicky, I think they got the hint when you turned off the lights," she teased, referring to her own subtle nudges to hurry the lingering patrons. They stepped into the dimly lit restaurant, the tables and chairs neatly arranged, a quiet testament to Jack's hard work. The aroma of garlic, olive oil, and freshly baked bread still clung to the air, a comforting, familiar scent. "Well, here we are," Jack said, his voice a little softer now, filled with a sense of wonder. This wasn't just a restaurant, it was the foundation of their new life, the ground floor of their future. "Yeah," Vicky agreed, her gaze sweeping over the familiar space, now imbued with a new significance. Jack led her to a narrow staircase at the back of the restaurant, a discreet entrance that led to their apartment. He gestured grandly. "May I give you a lift?" Vicky chuckled, her heart fluttering with a nervous excitement. "Excuse me." "Going up, madam." Jack offered his arm, a playful glint in his eyes. "Well, thanks for the ride." Vicky took his arm, her fingers brushing his, sending a jolt of electricity through them both. They ascended the stairs, each step a progression into the unknown, into their shared future. The apartment above was still sparse, mostly empty boxes, and a few pieces of furniture they had managed to move earlier. "I'll go get the bags," Jack said, remembering the last few suitcases they had left in the restaurant. "I'll meet you in the bedroom." He paused, a sheepish grin on his face. "It's the only room with furniture." "Right. Yes. Be right there," Vicky replied, her cheeks flushing slightly. The reality of their first night together, alone, was beginning to sink in. She walked into the bedroom, a small, cozy space with a single bed, a dresser, and a nightstand. The air was still quiet, filled with the scent of fresh paint and new beginnings. She ran her hand over the smooth wooden surface of the dresser, a nervous energy buzzing beneath her skin. No more roommates, no more shared spaces, just them. Jack entered a few moments later, laden with their bags. He dropped them on the floor with a sigh of relief. "Put the brown bag on the bed, honey," he instructed, his voice a little strained, a hint of his own nervousness peeking through. Yeah, right. Vicky nodded, placing the bag. What do you want me to do with this guy? She asked, holding up a small, quirky ceramic statue of a chef, a gift from Larry. Right here in the closet, Jack suggested, trying to maintain a semblance of normalcy. He stood there for a moment, looking at her, a profound tenderness in his eyes. The weight of the day, the emotional upheaval, the joy of their reconciliation, it all culminated in this moment, this quiet intimacy. Well, will there be anything else, madame? He asked, his voice low, a playful glint in his eyes that barely masked his own anticipation. Vicky met his gaze, a slow, sensual smile spreading across her lips. I hope so. Jack's breath caught in his throat. He took a step towards her, then paused, remembering something. Wait right here. Don't go away. I got a surprise. He rushed back out, leaving Vicky standing in the middle of the room, her heart pounding. He returned moments later, holding a chilled bottle wrapped in a towel, and 2 elegant champagne flutes. With a flourish, he unveiled the bottle. Ta-da! Vicky gasped, her eyes widening. How nice! I've been saving this for a special occasion, Jack explained, his voice filled with pride. He popped the cork with a satisfying thwop, the bubbly liquid fizzing into the glasses. He handed one to Vicky, their fingers brushing. Vicky took a sip, then noticed a small, beautifully wrapped package on the nightstand. And, I've been saving this for a special occasion. She picked it up, her fingers trembling slightly as she unwrapped it. Inside was a delicate silver locket, intricately carved with a tiny rose. Oh, that's beautiful, she breathed, her eyes shining. And it's a present from my mother, Jack added, a touch of nervousness in his voice. He hadn't told his parents about Vicky yet, let alone their unconventional living arrangement. Vicky looked at the locket, then at Jack, a soft smile on her face. I think I'm gonna like your mother better than your father. The jab at her own father was subtle, but it highlighted the stark contrast between their parents. Jack chuckled, a genuine, heartfelt sound. Oh, no, don't worry about my father. He won't be bothering us anymore, he said, referring to Mr. Bradford's earlier outburst. Vicky shook her head. Oh, no, he's got his life, and now we have ours. Her words were a declaration of independence, a firm boundary against her father's interference. Jack raised his glass, his eyes fixed on Vicky's, filled with a love that transcended all their recent trials. Vicky, to us, may we always be as close as we are now. Vicky clinked her glass against his, her gaze unwavering. Oh, I think we'll be a lot closer than this, she whispered, her voice husky, a playful promise in her eyes. Jack's heart skipped a beat. He took a long sip of champagne, trying to steady his nerves. The air between them was thick with anticipation, with unspoken desires. Oh, Vicky let out a soft sigh, her eyes drifting to the bed. Oh, listen, Jack, have you talked to your folks yet? The question, though seemingly innocent, brought Jack back to earth with a jolt. He had been so caught up in the moment, in the intoxicating promise of their future, that he had pushed the difficult conversation with his parents to the back of his mind. His mother, especially, held very traditional views, and the idea of him living in sin with a woman would be nothing short of a scandal in her eyes. Oh, I spoke to my mother, Jack admitted, a sheepish look on his face. And, Vicky prompted, her eyes narrowing slightly. And she said, have a wonderful time, Jack replied, trying to sound casual, but the guilt was evident in his voice. Really? Vicky asked, a hint of suspicion in her tone. Yeah, I told her I was going on a camping trip, Jack confessed, his shoulders slumping. He hated lying to Vicky, but the thought of confronting his mother was daunting. Vicky sighed, a small frown creasing her brow. Don't worry, I promise you that. I'll tell my folks about us. When? Jack asked, surprised by her immediate willingness to face her own difficult conversation. Soon, Vicky replied, a determined glint in her eyes. Jack nodded, a sense of shame washing over him. She was willing to face her overbearing father, but he was still hiding from his mother. He knew he couldn't put it off forever. Good. Excuse me, Vicky said, a yawn escaping her. Are you tired? Oh, am I ever? Jack admitted, rubbing his eyes. I had to get up at 5 this morning to help the girls pack. You know, and then I went right from there to the market to do my shopping. Right from there to the restaurant. I'm excited. He tried to inject some enthusiasm,